Hey everyone, totalwar here, and in today's video I'm going to showcase all of the new units the Beastmen have gotten in the latest DLC, the Tides of Torment. Let's just get into it. The favorite child of CA has striked again, and Beastmen have gotten some new units despite not having the DLC about them. So the first unit is the Slangor, and it was kind of apparent that we're going to get the Slangors because we had gotten Zangors, Pestigors, and Korngors previously in the last 3 DLCs, and as it was tradition, now we finally got the Slangors. And the beautiful thing is the Slangors actually do fit a role that Beastmen previously couldn't fulfill, a hard-hitting, fast flanking infantry unit. And if you look at their infantries, their fastest infantry speed is only 38, and they have a 50 speed, which can get improved even further with the Primal Fury as long as they have above 50% leadership by 10%. So essentially they're gonna have a 55 speed on an infantry, which is very decent. The Slangors have 120 entities with a mass of 130 and a 9,120 hit points, 30 armor, 62 leadership, 50 speed, 34 melee attack, 28 melee defense, 38 weapon strength, 28 of it base weapon damage, and 10 AP. And also they do have bonus versus infantry plus 8. It also comes with 32 charge bonus, Primal Fury, and then Pleasure Through Pain, which is a new ability that can give them up to 30% more speed, 60 more charge bonus, and 8 more melee attack. The effect intensity is going to increase as the unit is going to take damage. They have Vanguard deployment, they can hide in the forest, they have Strider, immune to psychology, Woodsman, and also 5% physical resistance. Slangors are obviously for the Slanesh part of the DLC, and the other units that I've gotten are all monsters. So 2 other units and 2 extra RORs, which is very nice. So the other unit is the Chimera, which is a 3-headed monstrous flying unit. So Chimera has 6,390 hit points. It's a large entity with 2,000 mass, 80 armor, 70 leadership, 85 speed, 52 melee attack with poison, magical, and flaming attacks, 38 melee defense, 520 weapon strength, 240 of it base weapon damage, and 280 of it being AP, and a 45 charge bonus. They have a flaming breath, which they can use 3 different times. The range damage does 52 damage, 57% of it armor piercing, and it does flaming damage, and 70 explosive damage, 57% of it being explosive armor piercing, with the range of 90 meters and a cooldown of 90 seconds, and they can use it if they're out of melee combat and flying. Strong versus multiple combatants, so really good against infantry, and good versus armor. They have the wounds like every other single entity character, they cause terror, they can fly, immune to flanking because they're multi-headed, and since they don't have any blind spot, they cannot be flanked, so immune to flanking, 15% missile resistance, and siege attacker. Very nice flying monster. Chimera is a unit for the Norska DLC, and the other flying monster they have gotten is the Preyton, which is for the Slanesh. They come with 7,289 hit points. They are obviously a large entity with 2,800 mass, so even more mass than the Chimera, even though it technically has a smaller body than Chimera. They have 60 armor, 70 leadership, 90 speed, 50 melee attack with poison imbuement, 28 melee defense, which is fairly low if I'm being honest for a monster especially, 485 weapon strength, 120 base weapon damage, and 365 AP with a 20 bonus versus large. So these guys are primarily going to go after the larger entities and do very well against them, especially the more armor they have, the more effective these guys are against them. And 40 charge bonus. The all-consuming hatred is an ability which reduces their melee attack by 24. It's really bad, and 28 melee damage reflection. And since these guys are a large entity killers, this is an absolutely crappy ability. Getting the melee defense to around 4 melee defense is absolutely abysmal, because other large entities are going to have insane amount of weapon strength, and getting 28 of that weapon strength done back to them in melee damage is a negligible amount of that weapon strength. And these guys, if they have 4 melee defense, literally every unit in the game are going to have better melee attack than it, so it's going to have a higher chance of actually hitting this guy in melee combat and landing their hits, so therefore damaging him. So this ability is absolute dog shit. Never ever use this. They have wounds, Frenzy, which gives them base weapon damage and armor piercing weapon damage plus 10%, 10% more charge bonus, 10 more melee attack, and immune to psychology as long as their leadership is above 50% of the base. And a unique one, Endless Malice, which gives them 25% more base weapon and armor piercing weapon damage plus 8 more melee attack as long as enemy unit is routing or broken within the range of 35 meters. They cause terror, they have devastating flanker, and they obviously can fly. A whopping 20% physical resistance and 45% missile resistance, which makes this guy an absolute nightmare for the missile units that only do physical damage. So 65% of that damage is going to be completely negated, and they are obviously also siege attackers. As I've mentioned before, they have also gotten 2 new RORs. One of them is a Chimera ROR, which has 10 more leadership, 12 more melee attack and 10 more melee defense, which is absolutely amazing. They also have another ability called the Perfect Predator, which can give them 0.4% heal per second and stock for 48 seconds, and they can use it if they're out of melee combat and are grounded. So in order to use this, you have to land on ground, and you can get a total of 19.2% healing and stock, so enemy units do not know where exactly you are, so you can get the full healing for 48 seconds. And this doesn't have any limit on how many times you can use it. You can essentially fully heal him if he's damaged. An absolutely 10 out of 10 ability. And the other ROR is the Scourge of the Ardeen, which is the Preyton variant. So they have 10 more leadership, 11 more melee attack, and 8 more melee defense compared to the basic Preytons. They also get to hide in the forest, and Striders, so they can be a little bit more effective on the ground. Strider makes him that he's gonna ignore the speed and combat penalties caused by terrain, especially the trees, because large entities are going to have their stats reduced in the trees. So that's going to help him be a lot more effective in the forests. Anyways, as always, the Beastmen are eating good with this DLC. They have gotten tons of new units in the previous DLCs, namely the Zangors, Pestigors, Corngors, Centigors of Zinch, Cockatrices, and now the additional new units that they've gotten, plus their RORs. So why is getting these additional free units is very important for your Beastmen campaigns? Essentially, Beastmen, in order to get more of their elite units, they have to increase their capacity. But first, they have to unlock them through the ruination mechanic. And the higher level of ruination you have, the higher tiers of units you can unlock and instantly recruit, as long as you have the needed capacity. But as soon as you unlock these units, you have one free capacity for every single unit. So you don't necessarily have to use your crappiest units, which are the Ongor Spearman Herd and the Ongor Raiders, which don't have any capacity on them. But instead, you can now use these free units that have been added in this DLC and the previous DLCs. So now they have a lot more option in their roster to recruit and make their armies a lot more varied and have a lot more fun in your Beastmen campaigns. So I'm absolutely having a lovely time with the addition of these 3 new units and 2 new RORs. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Warhammer 3 and Tides of Torment content. This is PZA Totalwar, and I will see you guys later.